Hey everybody, Paul back here again from Ballistic Blood Bullets, and we're looking at Aquaman, the new movie from DC, and in particular the new Steelbook Blu-ray release of the movie itself. And this one is the French Steelbook release, and it is packed with goodness and goodies galore, which sets it apart from the UK release, in my humble opinion. Lots of extras with this one, not least the fact that we have got 4 discs in with this release. One of them is the soundtrack. You get the standard Blu-ray with extras, I believe, and the HDR 4K release of the film, which is going to look fantastic. And most pleasing of all for me in particular is the 3D release, which is very difficult to get hold of in any release, which is one of the big reasons I decided to go for the French release, and in so doing actually used a new company to me, but I'm sure well known to most of you guys out there, FNAC from France, which I believe is pronounced FNAC, but they are very good. Very pleased with them all round. And speaking of all round, let's have a look around this Steelbook edition, because that's what the video is really all about. Nice edition. It really has got a nice sheen to it all over, and images taken from the film itself. Hoping this one's going to be a big fun release. I haven't seen the film itself, but very much looking forward to doing so. I think DC, unfortunately, more so than Marvel, have been rather hit and miss with their releases, although their TV shows that are coming up on their own DC channel are looking very promising indeed, particularly with the likes of Swamp Thing, which is going to be very, very good. Looking very much forward to that and the channel, although I'm sure it's going to take a little bit of a while to get over here into Europe and the UK, because of course upon first initial release the DC channel is going to be America only, but that's okay, as long as it does eventually find its way here through the usual streaming services, and isn't too expensive, because of course Netflix is very, very good value for sort of £8 to £10, depending which package you go for on a monthly basis. It just really is pretty unmatchable. Very, very good value for money. But liking the look of this a great deal, and as I say, very much hoping that the film is going to deliver as well. But all that I've read about this one, certainly he's a pretty cool character. And there we go, Jason Momoa there. Old Khal Drogo himself from Game of Thrones, of course. And just getting back to FNAC, just wanted to compliment them actually. If nobody's used them, if you're wary about using them, I was delighted. Took a chance with them. The packaging was just absolutely top notch. They send this Steelbook edition, I'm sure, and I hope, all of their stuff out to UK and other parts of Europe in a nice 2-ply cardboard, firm and secure packaging, and it arrived after being sent within 2 days. Delivery tracked and signed for, and just all round very good. FNAC is a large French retail store which was founded back in 1954, so they've got a good history to them, and they sort of deal with all sorts of home and electronic audio, books, CDs, DVD, Blu-rays, video games, etc. So all of the good stuff that we all like to treat ourselves to occasionally, but certainly as far as the films are concerned, with their own editions and Steelbook releases such as this, if you're getting all of that goodness thrown in, I mean, for goodness sake, that is good value for money. I think overall this cost about £32, which is, yeah, it's quite a lot of money, but that includes postage. And if you're comparing what you get here, you know, not only are you getting the Blu-ray with bonus material extras, the 4K and the CD of the music of the film. You don't get that with the UK. You get, as far as I'm aware, 4K release and the Blu-ray disc, and it's going to cost you £30. So for an extra £2, you're getting, I think, a better looking Steelbook and all of those discs. Really, you can't go wrong with that, I don't think. Very, very cool indeed. Aquaman, of course, Jason Momoa. Character is Arthur Curry, who's, of course, actually Aquaman. And his heritage is half human, half Atlantean. He's destined to become king of Atlantis and the ocean world. And it's, of course, as previously mentioned, from DC Comics. Some good DC Comics up there as well from one of the Aquaman releases. Just is cool. It just gives that whole feel-good factor of wanting to see the film. If you can enjoy the comic books as well, it just goes hand in hand. When they get it right, they get it right, and hopefully this is the case with this one. Aquaman is directed by James Wan, and a sequel is in the works already, so it just shows you how popular this one has been. And there's also going to be a spin-off horror action related movie to this one called The Trench. Now The Trench, to give you a bit of a sneak peek, is this. Now I've not seen the film, but because I've read the comics I know a little bit about it. But basically The Trench is the horror aspect of the deepest, darkest areas of the deep, deep oceans. And it's also known as Cannibals of the Deep, and it's a threat to Atlantis and the oceans and even the land above if it gets itself out. Now, Aquaman being so popular, it was made for $160 million, which is a fair hefty chunk, but it's made back over $1.5 billion around the world. That is impressive. So 10 times its budget. Now that absolutely will greenlight any big Hollywood production, and as long as they're good, that's absolutely fine. Now Jason Momoa, he's actually played, as I'm sure you know, Aquaman before in the 2016 fun Batman vs Superman, which of course also had Wonder Woman and the Flash from the DC universe. And also he appeared in Justice League from 2017. And Aquaman does actually take place after the events of that film. So they are pretty much sequential as far as the story of Aquaman is concerned. And Jason Momoa, of course, he's no stranger to superheroes. He actually played Conan the Barbarian in the re-imaging of the predominantly Marvel character. He's been with other comic people before, but he's being re-imaged in comics today with Marvel as well, which is really good to see Conan back in action. Maybe we'll get another proper Conan movie, and it's King Conan to, of course, star Arnold Schwarzenegger. But there we go, old Jason Momoa, Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones, Daenerys Targaryens, taken woman bride by the warlord of the Dothraki people, and of course was Emilia Clarke, who also, speaking of Conan the Barbarian and Arnold Schwarzenegger, was in one of the sequels to, of course, The Terminator. Jason Momoa, as far as Aquaman's concerned, he's going to be back as well. But this nice new big budget screen adaptation is very much, as far as I'm concerned, one to look out for, not only in this edition as well, but also in the sequel that's going to follow. And Jason Momoa, he's doing really pretty well for himself. Had perhaps a little bit of a slow start to his career, but he's really picking up now, and he can also be seen in the upcoming big budget, big screen reworking of the classic, famous sci-fi epic Dune, Frank Herbert's Dune. That's getting a re-imaging, and that's going to be out probably sometime next year. Now, the stars of Aquaman, you can also look forward to seeing the delightful Amber Heard as his queen-to-be, Willem Dafoe, Nicole Kidman, and Dolph Lundgren's in this one. And look out for Yaha Abdul Mateen II as bad guy Manta. He's the big bad guy. There we are. Let's get a look at Manta. There he is. He's not praying, so he's not a praying Manta. That's the slip card that comes with the movie. It's all in French, which is fine because it's a French release, but I'm not very fluent at all in French, so I can't really tell you too much about what's on there, but there's very little to pertain to the story by the looks of it. I'm sure you all pretty much know the story anyway, but you get all the goodness of the 4K Ultra HD, all the full audio options, full 240:1 screen, widescreen aspect ratio, I believe, and you get all the Dolby digital sound and DTS that come with it. You can select as well. It's a lot of goodness there, and with all these discs, I'm sure in the extras you're going to find a lot of good stuff. There may even well be a commentary track on this one as well. Now, another reason for picking up Aquaman from France in this edition is because the UK theatrical version, and also sadly the UK Blu-ray release of the film, is got some censorship issues, although technically speaking not censored, but there were some blood issues, some bloody detail in the film that people didn't like, the censors didn't like, but rather than actually cutting, they'd done a sort of digital shift in the image, which to me is just as bad as cutting and editing and censoring the film anyway. But they've moved the picture about, squeezed it and pushed it so the blood doesn't appear in these scenes that are supposed to be offensive, but not in this French 4K Blu-ray release, you'll be pleased to hear. And that's a big factor in me wanting to go for this particular one. If you're going to make a movie and tell people what it's all about and what's in it, you want to see that version that they're talking about. You want to see the director's intended version of the film, and that is what we have here. So ignore, I would say, mostly the UK version tweaked to edit out bloody detail just to get a 12A rating for cinema and home release. Crazy stuff. I mean, there should, it's just unforgivable, really. I mean, if they can do it for the cinema, okay. I don't like it, but if they can do it, that's fine. But please, at the very least, give us the choice of having a 12A Blu-ray release and a 15 rated untouched version, and see which version people purchase. I think pretty much we agree it's going to be the 15 rated one. But there we are. We've still got to look forward to the Trench Monsters, and that's hopefully going to be directed by James Wan. He's already been pretty much amped up by this, apparently. He wants to do a horror spin-off version of it. He's obviously a fan of old Hollywood Paramount horrors and the Universal horrors back in the 30s, because he wants to take the trench creatures, and as cited by him directly, they're going to have an influence on him, much as the Black Lagoon from 1954, Creature from the Black Lagoon did. And Wan is a fan of that film, as am I, particularly in 3D, one of the best 3D films ever made. So look forward to the spin-off movie The Trench, and think a dark colour, full colour, rich colour version of the Creature from the Black Lagoon type creatures and look, and it's gonna be pretty damn incredible, I would say. And the movie as well, because Wan clearly knows his stuff and he's very good at the horror material, as we all know. he also took some influence for this film, Aquaman, from themes of H.P. Lovecraft. All round good stuff. I do like the fact that it's got a horror vibe, if not so much in this one, but certainly in this spin-off version of The Trench. I'm even more excited by that, to be honest with you. I mean, that's going to be cool. Get that one right. That's going to be a really good one. And I'm sure we can do it for a smaller budget, probably $40–50 million. Still a lot of money, but it's going to have a hell of a following because it's James Wan. Can't really go wrong as far as I'm concerned. But here we go. This is all of the Blu-ray, Steelbook, 4K goodness from France, from FNAC. Thank you very much. Of Jason Momoa in Aquaman from DC. Really cool. Let me know which edition you went for, guys. If you saw it at the cinema, if you saw it in 3D, what's the 3D like, please? And if you've watched it on 4K as well, how good is that 4K Ultra HD for this one? But very much looking forward to seeing the film first and foremost. And almost certainly I shall check it out for the first time in glorious 3D. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, everybody. See you all soon. Bye for now.